How you doing, everyone, and welcome to Dreadnought, Gundam and more on PS4. And this is not a Gundam. This is a Gora, which means this is not a Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 video. This is, in fact, a Dreadnought replay. That's right. I have found out late last night after a long work week and some time with my cousin and some game playing and house chores that Dreadnought has gone back to 8v8. That's right. I am your father Seba informed me last night that Dreadnought is in fact going back to 8v8, and I was overwhelmed, overjoyed, and surprised that so many Dreadnought players were coming back out of the woodwork to join and play the game to try and increase the pop count so that the match queue times would stay relatively low. And I was overjoyed and so thankful that so many players wanted me to come back and play. And of course, I am all too eager to play Dreadnought in 8v8 mode because I simply love the game, and after all, my channel is predominantly a Dreadnought content-based channel. So, with the main focus of my ire, with the main problem of me playing the game and feeling bad for those awful 4v4 matches and 5v5 matches in which people are getting annihilated and there's very little tactical development or depth and very little strategy to play the game, except that you find those players that aren't bots and simply bully them with 3 to 4 ships until they die a whole bunch of times, is now gone. And now we are back to the full depth of the game in 8v8, and apparently the gray box developers decided that they should stop doing the 4v4 and 5v5 and go back to doing 8v8, but increase the number of potential bots per team from 3 to 4, so that if there just isn't enough players to play the game at that particular moment, then there will be enough bots to populate a match, which is really good, because if you're going to have a 4v4 or a 5v5 anyway, and they are suggesting doing 4v4 without bots, why not just throw the bots in to populate the match? And if I had to play an 8v8 with 4 bots per team, I would rather do that than play a 4v4 with no bots, or play a 5v5 with a couple bots per team. And I think most players agree with that sentiment. But I was still a little skeptical, and even though I was all too eager to jump back into the captain's seat and go into the fray, I still wanted to see how the game was doing. And I was not disappointed. I decided to meet up with some long-time friends from the Dreadnought game, which is really good because I care about the community most of all. And I decided to squad up with I'm Your Father Seba and have some matches with some friends, including General Nemesis, who has been a huge and driving force in getting the Dreadnought population back on track, which is just great. So we had a couple of matches last night, and I wrote some stats down. And my first match while I was in queue with Seba was a 3-minute and 42-second wait, and there were 2 bots on our team and 1 bot on the enemy team. The second match was a 6-minute and 32-second wait with 2 bots on each team, and I had to call it quits at that point because it was 1:30 or 2 in the morning. And I am no spring chicken anymore, and I had a lot to do today, which is Saturday, so I decided to call it quits there after a long night of some drinking and hanging out with friends and family, and then playing some Gundam. So today in the afternoon, early afternoon, I tried to pick a spot that really is kind of off hours, because I tend to play during prime time on the East Coast of the United States, which is probably the best chance for high population on the PS4 server as far as Dreadnought is concerned. And I played 3 additional matches this afternoon, and the first one was a 4-minute 28-second wait in queue time with 2 bots on each team. The second was a 4-minute and 8-second wait with 1 bot on our team, 2 bots on the enemy team. And the last game I played, which is this one that you're watching now in the Gora, was a 4-minute and 24-second wait with only one bot on each team. And I think that is super, and proves the point that I was trying to make originally, is that waiting a minute or two extra for a higher quality game with more players and more enjoyable circumstances for everyone is much better than shaving maybe 30 seconds to a minute off queue times at best, and that's only if this plan of theirs had succeeded, and then having a 4v4 match or a 5v5 with bots mixed in anyway. So I'm very pleased with those results. I didn't see a single match where there is 3 bots on either team, much less 4 bots on either team. But if there happen to only be 8 players in the universe, in the world, that are playing Dreadnought at any one given moment, let's say in the wee hours of the morning in a time slot that is very uncommon, it's not prime time for either Europe or the United States, that in fact there will be enough bots to populate the match and you will still get an 8v8, which is just great. The only thing that I thought was a little weird is, out of the 5 matches that I played in the last 2 days, there were 3 matches in dry dock. So I don't know if that was just happenstance or if the dry dock was the only instance available for gameplay for the PS4 server. But hey, I'm not going to complain about that. I think dry dock is a decent map. It's got a lot of opportunity for close combat, a lot of cover for corvettes, and large stretches of open space for artillery cruisers to get the work done. So we all love dry dock. It's a great map. So I think I am going to start making Dreadnought content again, of course. And I have a library of about 100 replays that are really, really awesome in my opinion, but they are kind of stale, as many of them are rinse, repeat, very repetitious replays with my most common builds, and they're just me killing a bunch of enemy ships. So I'm going to try to make a clean slate, and I'm just going to have to kiss those great replays goodbye and lock them in the far away folder place on my computer, and try to focus on making new content. And of course, General Nemesis wanted to send in a replay, and no matter what the game was doing, whether it stayed 4v4 or went back to 8v8, I was determined to continue to cast any player submitted replays that come my way, because I like casting and I like showcasing the matches that you all have, because many of you are really, really, really good players when it comes to Dreadnought, and those of you that are just starting or are average players are still just terrific people and probably have some great, crazy occurrences and shenanigans in your matches, whether or not you get a great score. And I think that if you really are proud of a match, or you really like it, or something very funny or interesting happened during the match, it is worth submitting. Don't be afraid to compare yourself to the likes of Scroat or Persistent Flame, because they have been playing Dreadnought for a very, very, very long time and are very focused gamers. So don't think, I've had a lot of questions from players saying, hey, I want to give you a replay, but I'm afraid it's not good enough. There is no such thing as not good enough when it comes to Direct Dreadnought, Gundam, and more on PS4. So if you do want to send in your replays, I will cast them and put them on the channel, and that goes for other games as well, as long as I am familiar with the game. And even though I don't post a lot of replays or game content from many other games, I am very familiar with many games, and if I haven't played those games to death, I am at least familiar with the lore and the gameplay, even if I am not the greatest player of that game, because I have not been playing long enough. So, in closing, I am back, and I'm glad that they changed this back. I was really afraid that I was going to lose the Dreadnought community that had formed around the channel because of this decision to lower the number of players that could play in a single match instance on Dreadnought. I thought that was a very bad move, and I just couldn't play the game in that state. And now that they have changed it back, with the caveat that there would be up to 4 bots per team, I have not run into a single game yet where there have been 3 or 4 bots on a team, and the wait times, as you saw before, are probably averaging now, I would say, closer to 5 minutes, but I saw a lot of 4 minutes in there, and one wait time that was 3 minutes and 42 seconds, almost 4 minutes. So I mean, it's pretty constant with that queue time. And to tell you the truth, when I am waiting in queue for Gundam, sometimes it populates in 3 to 4 minutes, but sometimes it's up to 6, 7, or even 8 minutes, especially for 6v6 or for a high point match where not a lot of players have the right mobile suit to play. So with that in mind, and also I've played other games in which you have to wait several minutes and have to get up, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, even for some of the more famous first-person shooters out there. So I think that a 4 to 6 minute wait time is still outstanding for Legendary in Dreadnought. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing next as far as Dreadnought content on the channel, but we do have player-submitted replay casts. I want to try to get some strategy videos out there, and of course it might be a little weird, but I thought that I would also do an end-of-month Direct Dreadnought channel and game update for the game of Dreadnought as well. Well, that's it for me for now, and as of now, I will see you in Sinly Bay.